Now, welcome, Screen Fiend fans. Let's get into this right quick. It's your boy Carcino here, and let's go. This is Krypton. No, it's the North Pole where Superman resides. He has a crash landing where it looks like he takes his last steps to get home. Now, we've all seen this clip, which seems to be like the first 5 or 10 minute scenes that we see that they showed us in the teaser trailer. James Gunn is running a misdirectional play, and we see Superman laying in the snow looking battle worn. Wearing the traditional Superman attire. He looked like he just got out of a title fight and he lost the belt. And while everyone is like so focused in on the snowfalls, the flakes, how it's falling down on Superman, no one seems to be paying any attention. And I mean any attention to the key factors here in this trailer. Well, not this trailer, this sneak peek. And there's some things you probably missed, especially if you don't read comic books, if you never read them growing up. I happen to be older. So you can see Superman's been beat up. Like he's been choked, he's been punched a couple of times, and he's a little worn for wear. And I had people talking about, so they're worried about this film. What the hell would you be worried? It's fucking Superman. I ain't worried about nothing. Superman is actually involved in fights with a kaiju. That's all I needed to see. Well, we get to see Krypto the dog come to him. And as Krypto the dog is coming to him, you see this big cloud of snow, and you see this dog is on his way. Now, we know Krypto from the comic books, right? And then now they've been doing him in animation for the kids. So now you got live action Krypto who leaps and lands on Superman, which hurts him because he's a super dog. He's not just a regular dog. So him jumping on him and trying to get him to play and all these things, it hurts Superman. And he's like, come on, Krypto, stop. You're hurting me, dog. What's going on? Look, he's pouncing on him. Tried to grab his foot. He's trying to get him to get up. He doesn't know how to get him to get up. He's trying to pull his super shirt or whatever. Crypto is trying to figure out how to get Superman up. So what you can see here is Crypto is not yet trained. He's not a disciplined dog. He's got some disciplinary issues. Now, what I believe is going to happen here, and this was a huge clue to me, saying Crypto doesn't seem to be his dog. But Crypto likes him. Now, Crypto doesn't seem to possess like the type, he almost seems annoyed with Crypto. Now, in the comic books with Supergirl, his cousin, Krypto Krypto is the one that is with Supergirl on her adventures. And now these you know that they're making a Supergirl movie to follow this part of the James Gunn universe. This tells me Supergirl is not only going to be in the film, but probably won't do as much. And with all the activities that's going on around here, you're going to start to see that it'd have been useful to have her here, but she must was on another planet doing something else. And she's probably going to come back at the end and take Krypto with her. Because Krypto seems to be probably her dog. And when she arrived to Earth, Krypto was probably in her pod. Now, I like the way the Fortress of Solitude does not appear and does not show itself until Superman is near it. It can protrude back into the ground to disguise itself, to stay well hidden. Now, it was never said why Superman had the Fortress of Solitude all the way due north. Well, the way he did it in the comics was because his planet, it fit mostly his temperature. It was pretty cool. It was isolated. It was no people around. So he didn't have to worry about any intrusion. And based on the coordinates that it seems to be, this was the best place for the crystals to manifest. That was pretty much like the temperature of his planet. Krypton was very cold. Their sun was red, but the planet was always very cool. Now, the fact that Jor-El knows about Earth to send Superman there, his son, meaning that he probably has visited this planet and knew about the properties of the yellow sun and what it does to them. So he knew that he would be different there, which means that he probably had secret things stashed there. As you see these Superman robots come out. Yeah, they see he's hurt, they pick him up, say, "Whoa, let's get him, let's get to work on him." Now, only thing that could really do something like that to Superman is another Kryptonian or something else. I don't know if the kaiju did it, or a you know a clone of somebody. Like I think Ultraman is in here, which was a clone of Superman. I think Lex Luthor is going to have a kryptonite suit. These are my theories about the secrets that people probably have missed going into this film, which seems like it's going to be epic. It's very well shot. They still haven't finished effects, of course. So they'll have a finished effects, as it goes on. Alan Turkin's in here, plays one of the voices for the robots. And just the look of this is pretty cool. As we've all seen different versions of it, this looks more like a different concept than what we're used to based on technology they have. They have like a healing pad, which is basically can give you an MRI just by looking or focusing on said subject. Now, I like the fact that they use the sun to heal him and use a magnifying unit that can accelerate the use and how much power they get from the sun. It's like a huge magnifying glass, and Superman is the ant. And the fact that the Fortress of Solitude can change its position and rotate and expand and reconstruct all to Superman's needs. Well, with the technology so vast, the crystals could store their actual conscience, where it would give them information, knowledge, things of the past that they might have known, that the rest of the world might not have known. It's all there. And you see, this hurts Superman. James Gunn has never let me down in a film. So, Here's my kaiju. Look at that kaiju go, baby. Ah, super kaiju, baby. Hawkman. Here, I think they're going to have in their DC universe, Mom died and Pop lived. So no Martha Kent in this universe. Clark and Lois Lane getting it on. July 11th is going to be hot. You see this little kid in this foreign country holding up this sign for Superman? That's telling me that this is going to be something of epic proportion. Now, that's a pocket dimension. We've seen that in Peacemaker. Now, you see that Luther's troops try to assassinate Lois Lane, and she's saved. So we're going to see a lot. And there's Ultraman, Superman's clone. This might be where he got beat up at. Now, Calypso, we got to see how that's going to play out. And you see they've invaded his home, killed Krypto, and you see the Green Lantern shows up at the scene. Luther looks beaten, worse for wear there. This is just one of those epic movies where you're going to see how this plays out. She knows Clark Kent is basically Superman, seemingly, we assume. But we know that she's definitely making out with Superman, or Clark Kent. So we don't know if this is going to lead to Superman, her and Superman dating and all that. But it looks like she knows he's Superman. So they're changing a lot here, and they're taking a big risk. So what did you think about it? Leave a comment in the comment section. I'm out.